All right, here we go. We have the Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort. Welcome to Vlad TV.
Thank you.
Well, look, a lot of us got to know you from the movie starring Leonardo DiCaprio, and it was a hell of a movie. And from what I understand, it was actually fairly accurate in terms of your life story. So, since this is your first time here, I want to start in the very beginning.
Sure.
So, you were born in the Bronx.
Born in a hospital in the Bronx, but was taken 5 days later to Queens, or 3 days later, where I grew up in Queens, which was the borough right next to the Bronx, maybe like 10 minutes away.
Okay. And you had both parents in the house?
Correct.
And they were both accountants?
Correct.
So were they stock investors themselves, or were they strictly accountants?
My parents were the most conservative people that you could ever meet. So they were accountants. My father they were both CPAs, in fact, not just accountants. And they were both highly educated, brilliant, and hardworking. But we had no money. And that was something that I think came into my belief system about what it takes to become wealthy, is that, you could be brilliant, hardworking, educated, and broke. There's something else involved besides that. And that's really, I think, what came into making me who I am today in my belief systems.
Okay. So you graduate high school and you're on your way to college, but you need to raise money for college. So you actually started an Italian ice company?
Correct. So I was the kid that always had the lemonade stand. I was delivering newspapers. I did magic shows as a kid. I mean, you name it, I did shovel driveways after snowstorms. But I hit it big when I was about 16, 17, made large amounts of money going down to the local beach, Jones Beach, and selling ices blanket to blanket. I made about $30,000, which in today's dollars is probably $100,000 the first summer I did that. And then about $150,000 in today's dollars the second summer. And I used that money to put myself through school.
Got it. Okay, so you went to American University and you got a degree in biology, of all things?
Yeah, well, again, part of my belief systems were based on the things my parents told me. My mother especially, from the time I was 2 years old, or probably a year old, sitting in the high chair, my mother would spoon feed me applesauce. And she was like, the only noble way to become wealthy used to be a doctor or a dentist. So, I went to, college, got a degree in biology and chemistry. And if you would have asked me what I wanted to do when I graduated, I'd say I want to be rich for a living. But since that was, reverberating in my mind, doctor, wealthy, I ended up applying to medical school and dental school. I got in both, but I went to dental school because I figured it was shorter, 4 years versus 8. And that's what happened.
Right. And I guess when you got to dental school, the professor said the golden age of dentistry is over. So if you want to make a lot of money, you're in the wrong place.
And I walked out the same day. So that was like, I got the gut that boom, whoa, wait a second, like a wake up call. This is a waste of time. And I dropped out, straight away. And then went back a few months later, moved back in with my parents, which was no picnic, I can assure you, into the same 2-bedroom apartment I'd grown up in with my brother. And I started as a salesman. I answered a blind ad in the newspaper and began selling door to door meat and fish. Quickly became the top salesman, like right at the first day as the top salesman of the company. I had a natural gift for sales, which I realized at that moment, crystallized. Opened my own meat business about a month later and built that up to about 26, 27 trucks when I was still 21, just turning 22. And then made every mistake a young entrepreneur can make. Overexpanded, undercapitalized, growing on credit, not controlling my inventory, not filtering out the people I was hiring to drive my trucks. I mean, it was the worst run business in the history of businesses. And it was a shitty business to start. And it went bankrupt when I was 23. And that's what brought me down to Wall Street.